जन्मूतं यच्छवाभ्यं मुका स्वतस्वकेशानो यदन्ने नातिरोहति एतावानच महिमातो जायाय पुरुषपादोश्च विश्वाभुक्तानि त्रिपादश्यामृतन्निवित्रिपादोर्व उदयपुरुषपादोषेह भवत्पुनः ततो विश्वं चक्र तत्सातनानतने अभीततो विराडजायत विराडो अधिपुरुषः धातु अत्यर्चित पश्चात् भूमि मतो पुरः तस्मात् जग्यात् सर्वहुतसंवृतं ससुन्दार्यं वसन्तं चक्रे वायव्यानारण्य ग्राम्यात्रे समाजगात् भौतरिकसामा निजगीरे कन्दारुतिरति रेतस्माजरुतस्मातरायत समादत्वा अजायन्त एके शोभयागतः गावो अजगीरे तस्माजात भजावयतं यज्ञं वरेति प्रोक्षं पूर्णं जातमगतः तेन देव अयनं तथाचार्यस्य यत्पुरुषं जललोकतिलाकल्पयन् मोहं विमक्ष श्रीमाौ विमुरुपादाउच्येते ॐ ब्रह्मणोऽयं प्रमाति बाहुराजन्यसितौतमस्य जन्मदिक्षः पदभ्यङ्गो शूद्रो अजायत ॐ चन्द्रमा मनसो जातचक्षो सूर्यो अजायत श्रोत्राजायत तारक मुखादक्षीरजायत नाम्य आखिलन्तरिक्ष भूतेष्णव्यो समस्तपद्भ्याम्बो निर्दिश श्रोत्रा तथा लोकान् अकल्पयन् यत्पुरुषेण विकालेवायज्ञमसन्वत वसन्तो चासिदार्यं ग्रीष्महिमकरदवी सप्तस्यासन्परिरहसि सप्तसमिदा विद्यादेव अगत्यं तन्मान अवर्णं पुरुषं परशुम् ॐ यज्ञेन यज्ञमयनं तदेव तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्य सन्तेहनाकं महिमानः सकन्त यत्र पूर्वे साध्याः सन्ति देवाः इति पुरुषं सम्पूर्णं विष्णवे जगदीश्वरे।
प्रेम सोव्यास भगवान की जय. Please put your seats. At this time, I will request our Kirtan Mandir to move one short kirtan, after which we will proceed with the round.
Jai तेरी महिमा सबसे प्यारी, तेरी सबसे न्यारी, तू ही पालक है लोला, ईश्वर तू जगदीश्वर, अंतर मन में तेरा, अंतर मन में तेरा, तू ही ईश्वर तू जगदीश्वर, अंतर मन में तेरा दान, जग के स्वामी अंतर्यामी, जग के स्वामी अंतर्यामी, जग के स्वामी अंतर्यामी, जग के तू ही उधरत है मोरे राम, जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम, मन से सीताराम, जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम, मन से जगत
प्रेम से बोलो श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। Devotees all, let us please stand as we join in our आरती। प्रेम से श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय।
Om Sadandarte Santam Vahenyovitanmaya Deepam Dayanayiresha Trailokyatina Ampaham Arati Sri ओम यानि तानि च पापानि जन्मन्तर्पितानि च तानि तानि विनश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे सीतारामचंद्र की जय।
हे रामा पुरुषोत्तम नरहरि नारायण केशव गोविंदा गरुध्वज गो नरे दामोदर माधव हे कृष्णा कमलापते यरुपते सीतापते श्वेपते वैकुंठारिपते चराचरपते लक्ष्मीपते पाहिमं त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। बार बार परमांगो हर्षदेव शिविरं परसरोजन पावहे भक्ति सदा सतसंग सिया भज रामचंद्र की जय। शरणं प्रभु मापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की व्यास भगवान की धन्यवाद।
प्रेम से बोलो सत्य सनातन धर्म की, सनातन धर्म की। धर्माचार्य जी, व्यास जी महाराज, Reverend Panditjis, respected mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, devotees of Sanatan Dharma, Jai Shri Ram. On behalf of the Federation of Hindu Mandirs and the USA Pandits Parishad, based out of New York, both our organizations, let me extend a very warm and cordial welcome to all of you this evening to this, the third session, the third installment of Ramayan in the Park, Orlando edition. Please give this program a big round of applause. It is truly immense grace and blessings of Bhagwan Sri Sitarama and all the manifestations of the divine that we're able to gather here, this part of the world, for come Sunday, next Sunday that is, what will be 8 wonderful sessions of Katha, Pravachan, Puja, dedication to Bhagavan. This evening, it gives me great pleasure to know that Sanatan Dharma has come a very far way and is leaping to greater heights as we are doing here in Orlando, Florida. With us here, coming all the way from New York, we have our Dharmacharya ji, we have the President of the Federation of Hindu Mandirs, Padiji Gurta Jagnan, and arrived here today as well, we have the Public Relations Officer, Mataji Vedo. Please give her a big round of applause. And Padiji Gurta for coming all the way from New York to grace this occasion to be part of this edition of Ramayan in the Park. They are stalwarts of our Dharma and they have been working tirelessly for Ramayan in the Park out of New York and the other programs that are being organized and executed by the Federation of Hindu Mandirs as well as the USA Pandits Parishad. We want to also thank the Jalaram Mandir for hosting us here night after night and for making the necessary accommodation and preparation for helping us to execute this dharmic yatra, this dharmic journey. Before we go any further, let me remind you and inform you, those of you who are joining us here for the very first night of Katha, that we'd like to use the bathrooms. They are out in the right behind the main sanctum of the temple. And should you desirous of having some water or any beverages, usually we'll have it outside by the dining area, but because of the weather, it's being inside of the dining area that is behind the sanctum, behind the main entrance of the temple. And we ask of you, we implore you, we beg of you, during the discourse of our Shree as well as the presentation by our Dharmacharyaji, we ask of you to minimize the movements, if at all, so that we can gain the amrit, the rest of this evening's proceedings. Without any further ado, I have great honor and privilege to introduce to you our Dharmacharyaji, the Dharmacharya of the USA Pandits Parishad and of the Federation of Hindu Mandirs, Panditji Ram Harwar Pandit.
धन्यवाद पंडित जी गणेश राम सहाय। हरि ओम विघ्नेश्वराय नमः। ओम लंबोदराय एकदन्ताय नमः। ओम विघ्नेश्वराय वरद्राय सुरप्रियाय लंबोदराय सकल जगत्पिताय नागाननाय श्रुतियज्ञ विभूषिताय गौरी सुताय गणनाथ नमो नमस्ते। ओम नमो दिव्यै महादिव्यै शिवाय सततं नमः। नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्राय नियता प्रणतस्मता। उमा सहायं परमेश्वरं प्रभुं त्रिलोचनं नीलकण्ठं प्रशान्तं ध्यात्वा मुनिर्गच्छति भूतयोनिम् समस्तसाक्ष्यं तमसः परस्तात्। समस्तसाक्ष्यं तमसः परस्तात्। ॐ नमः शिवाय। मानोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रिया बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्री राम राम रघुनंदन राम राम। श्री राम राम भरताग्रज राम राम। श्री राम राम रणकर्कश राम राम। श्री राम राम शरणं भो राम राम। श्री रामचंद्र चरणों मनसस्मरामि श्रीरामचन्द्र चरणो वचस गृह्णामि श्रीरामचन्द्र चरणो शिरसा नमामि श्रीरामचन्द्र चरणो शरणं प्रपद्ये। हे श्री राम, मैं हम सबको शिर झुका करता है प्रभु, आपकी चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि प्रणाम और वंदना करता है। हे कौशल्य पुत्र, आपकी चरण में शरणागत हो हे प्रभु, शरणागत हो। एक बार बोले श्री राम जी।
To the spiritual leader here at Shree Jalaram Mandir, very special individual, a very special Pandit, a very special brother of mine, and a special guru in the Maharaj family, Pandit Raj Tiwari. Pay my respects to you and to your entire team here at Shree Jalaram Mandir. To our Dharmacharya ji, Pandit Ram Harwar Pandey ji, Pranam. To also joining us tonight, our other Reverend Pandits, Pandit Shukla ji, Pandit Ganesh ji Shukla, Pandit Vishnu Haiva ji, Pandit Manish ji, Pandit Durga ji, and Pandit Ganesh ji. I also recognize in the audience very dear uncle to me, Pandit Raj Maharaj ji. I recognize you, pay my respects to you. To any other Pandits present tonight, I pay my respects also. Tonight, I will also, as I open, I would like to recognize two of my three sons, Pandit Tulsidas and Pandit Vasudev, who conducted puja with our Yajna. Auntie Florence, Moms as I call her. All three of you being formidable stalwarts of Dharma, your community and Dharma also. Thank you to you, sons. Many blessings to you, Mom. Thank you and blessings, Roshan Bhaiya, Ruzalev Bhaiya, who has joined us today. Your wonderful bhajans and also your nephews for your compliment tonight. To you, devotees, on this chilly night, the thrill of 7 sessions of Sri Ramcharitamanas, how much fun is this? 40 degrees, right? I believe right now it's a comfortable 43 or so. Now that's a rare treat, if there was ever one. So if you would, allow me a few moments to warm you all up a little bit. Okay? Sri Ramcharitamanas is described by Goswami Tulsidas Ji also as the Manas to the lake of the glories of Sri Ram. And this is a reference to a physical lake, a physical pond called Mansarovar, which is at the foot of the Himalayan mountains. And Goswami Tulsidas identifies this place in Balkand very early on. We call it Mansarovar Katha, those of us who regularly perform pravachan, Ramayan Katha, Sri Ramcharitamanas. Some of you will be familiar when you listen, particularly if you listen to me. Sattu Pavandhi Subhava Supana Jnana Nirandhir Khatimanamana Raghupati Mahima Aguna Abadha. This is the Mansarovar. And Goswami Tulsidas Ji is making this description, Sattu Prabandha. Prabandha devotees, the Sopana, the 7 chapters of the 7th Kanda. He says, take your mind there, elevate it across the 7 Kandas, and get to that Mansarovar, that lake. And he says to swim in that lake and search, seek and find what? He goes on to say, Chanda, Soratha, Sundara Doha. You find the gems of Ramcharitamanas. And like I said, this is an actual place. And I promised to warm you up a little bit, so many of us, maybe all of us, we like to ask our Pandit to check. Right? To check this for me, check that for me, check that even as a good time, to kill the neighbor, etc. Okay? So I was proactive tonight and I did some checking of my own. Okay, without asking you. I went ahead and I checked the temperature. I'm Mandir tonight. Okay? And it's a nice warm 23 degrees right now out there. Okay? Here in Oakland, it's 20 degrees warmer. Okay? So my point is this. We actually better off here. Okay? We're better off in this tent, in this veritable Mandir. And the opportunity is before us, the lake is before us, for us to delve, swim, and I dare say retrieve. Devotees, as we begin, and I offer my warm regards to you, myself, on behalf of all of our Pandits, we offer grateful and blessed welcome. Tonight, devotees, I think it has been said many times before, but it may not be overstated in our circumstances tonight that you are admirable examples of answering the highest call. The highest calling a soul or an atma can have. The highest call that a soul can have embodied in this human body of ours. And your presence here, devotees, helps to transform this facility, this infrastructure, by having you in it, by you being here to listen, to become Srota and listen to Ramcharitamanas, you become Sant Samaj. Who is Sant Samaj? Who are Sant Samaj? Sant Samaj is a gathering of the spiritually minded. And I recognize this in you tonight for the sacrifices that you have made, personal sacrifices otherwise and otherwise. Some of you I am familiar with, I know the sacrifice it would take to be here, and some of you I can appreciate even if I don't know personally. And we're all gathered here on our various sacrifices to be here on one basis, one purpose, and one forum. And that, devotees, whether consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously, the purpose that we have come here is to retrieve, to experience, to express bhakti. Or to put it another way, to express our devotion to Bhagavan. And we shouldn't take this statement lightly, we shouldn't take this compliment, we shouldn't take this accolade lightly, simply because we shouldn't take bhakti itself lightly. Bhakti is not just singing bhajan kirtan. Bhakti is not just satsang, as we say, this and that and everything else. Bhakti, devotees, is a yoga, it is a path to recognizing the divine. And so, without being too redundant or going too far into any one thing before I begin with my katha, I remind you that we all have this unity of purpose today, like I said, subliminally or otherwise, and it is to pursue bhakti. One definition of a bhakt, who are you tonight, is one who utilizes the human body, your human body, your existence for the highest purpose. This devotion or this bhakti, among the four paths or the four yoga that we can follow, bhakti is described as the king by Goswami Tulsidas himself, the king of all yoga. One can take with this path, it can take us to total freedom, complete freedom, devotees, of all kinds, complete happiness, complete well-being, and complete upliftment. And you all here are real life representations, representatives of this aspiration to feed the soul of the Atma. And by doing so, you deserve to be reminded of the greatness of this single act. And that reminder, as we prepare ourselves to listen, to prepare ourselves for Ramcharitamanas, We take the words of Goswami Tulsidas Ji in Uttarakhand. This is not a lesson so much as a reflection and a reminder for us all, because we all would have encountered this before. And he says, of our existence, of our bodies and all of the attributes that we have been blessed with, sadhana dhama mokshikara dwara. Sadhana dhama mokshikara dwara, paina jahi paraloka samara. This sadhana dham is not a euphemism. It is not a reference. It is in actuality our own bodies. I always say, pinch yourself, feel yourself. Don't try to what's next to you. Only yourself. Touch yourself and recognize the material that is before you, built of the 5 elements. This is a vessel. What you have is a vessel. And that vessel is situated. Sadhana dham, mokshikara dwara. It is situated at the gateway. At the gateway of complete freedom. Moksha we say very loosely, it's a complicated term, but we all seek freedom to one extent or the other. Particularly if we're on a spiritual journey. And so this body of yours is that vessel that is on the doorway, it is on the portal to complete freedom. Sadhana dham, on account of this vessel being the repository of all sadhana, of all spiritual practices, bhakti included. That's what we're calling tonight. Paina jahi paraloka samara. The Swami Tulsidas is fascinating if you take this one chapter with you, which is not the subject matter for tonight. But he says, Paina jahi, or jahi na pai, if we change it a little bit. When we don't have this body, paraloka samara, there is no possibility for us to get enlightenment or darshan. Imagine the power we hold the devotees in holding a human form. At whatever age we might find it in life, at whatever situation we might find it in life, whether cold or warm even, it unifies us all that power. Imagine how power we hold the devotees to the extent that even the devatas look upon us with a little bit of envy. And why so? Because of the same thing I said just now, held in this body, coded into this body, waiting to be expressed. The ability to worship, the ability to devotees, the power to exercise bhakti. I will give you one more caution in a mode of humility, in a mode of awareness, not so much teaching, as we prepare to listen. We have this body, it is the repository of all spiritual values. One thing devotees we must do also, acknowledge, I should say, is we shouldn't take it for granted. We shouldn't take this body for granted. Swami Tulsidas reaffirms this again, close to where he said this to Pai. He said, Naraka Swarga Apavarga Nisevi. Naraka Swarga Apavarga Nisevi. To paraphrase that, if Goswami Tulsidas is saying this body we have, it has to do something. It has to act in a certain way. We consider it, let's just consider it, for example, say a vehicle. A vehicle to take us along a path, and that path tonight is spirituality, spiritual advancement. Goswami Tulsidas says life as a whole is not horizontal like a road. When you take a journey, especially if you're in Florida, you picture a flat road. Goswami Tulsidas doesn't characterize this life of ours as a flat horizontal plane. He characterizes it instead, he believes, as not a vertical necessarily, but a slanted gradient. That devotees, the image is that of a ladder. And he says this body that we have, we should not take it for granted, because the same body that we all possess, we all have the option to go upward, downward, or stay stagnant. So we are at a decision point. If we're listening and we would like to adopt this message, what we're about to listen to is Sri Our decisions tonight roughly can be placed as, we listen and we become impressed by what we hear. We become impressed and possibly even moved by the glories of the God. And then we move on with our lives. Another option we can take is we can squander this gem that we have of this human body, this human condition, and let it go to waste. We have a third option also. We can seek, we can discover this power locked within our own existence. And if we remain merely impressed devotees, nothing will happen in life. We won't die. Bhagwan will come and strike us and punish us. But we will continue to listen to Harikatha for a long time, with possibly no change in our lives. So I do not recommend that. If we squander the privilege, again nothing will happen to us. I will not sit here and tell you your life will change and you leave here and something will happen to you. However, what will happen is this. When we squander the powers that have been invested in us and we allow it to be latent, we continue to depend on other people, other places, other relationships, and other types of help, so to speak. We will forever depend on others for our own well-being. And if we become the seekers like I'm recommending tonight, then life becomes a journey of constant devotees, discovery, a journey of constant revelations, of constant blessings, happiness and contentment. And who here doesn't want that rewarded life? Who doesn't want to be rewarded with this? So I submit to you devotees humbly, as we begin with our Katha tonight, that the conditions are right. The conditions are right for us to seek the divine through His Mahima or His glories. Tonight, as we've heard before, we are in Aranyakam, or the forest chapter of Sri Ramacharitamanus. Other recommendations of Ramayan Katha itself will begin with Sumiran and Bihar. Jai Sumirata Siddhi Ho विवेक जलदेह पूर्णं आनंददं वैराग्यं भुजभास्करं यदघं तापहं तापहं मोहाबोधयुङ्गपातं विधं स्वः सम्भवं शङ्करं वन्दे ब्रह्मकुलं कलङ्कशमनं श्रीरामभूपाप्रियम् सामानन्दपयोदसौभरतनुं पीताम्बरं सुन्दरं पाणौबाणशरासनं कटिलसत्तुनीरभारं वरं राजीवायतलोचनं धृतजटाजूटेन संशोभितं सीतालक्ष्मणं संयुक्तं पतिरतं रामाभिरामं भजे रामाभिरामं भजे रामाभिरामं भजे। ॐ सीताराम गुरुराम पुण्यरम्यविहारिणं वन्दे विशुद्धविज्ञानं कपीश्वर सीतारामचंद्र की जय। On the Katha, devotees for tonight, we are having a card which implies that Sri Ram, as we heard from Bhaiya Manuj, Pandit Manuj ji last night, he gave us a very good understanding of the events that unfolded in Balkan, Ayodhya Khan, sorry. And so, with the marriage of Sitama and the brothers, Sitama to Sri Ram, I should say, and the other brothers to the sisters and cousins in Mithilapur, the arrival to Bharat, etc. A calamitous turn of events, as Panditji mentioned last night, Tapas should be secured as we told them about Sri Ram Bandhavas. Sri Ram is not in Bandhavas. We take our Katha tonight in the midst of Bandhavas. Sri Ram has been recently, I will say, traveling through the forests and forced to move because of different circumstances, etc. He ended up settling at the point in our Katha into a little forested area called Panchavati. In this area of Panchavati, Lakshmana has just built a dwelling, a hut, an ashram, if you will, for the Lord to reside in. And it is important to know that Bhagavan's intention at this point in Aranyakand, Bhagavan's intention was to remain put, to not move, but to spend that Banvas, those 14 years, close to Ayodhya, close to the kingdom and accessible to everything. And so they chose a spot, because Swami Tulsidas describes, that was close to the Ganga, so water is available, and also close to the sages. Goswami Tulsidas opens the curtains tonight on the life of the Lord, in Sitama and Lakshman, for our eyes, for the eyes of all consciousness, to gaze upon. And the irony tonight, devotees, the irony of this peaceful scene that will shortly visit us, Sita. The irony of this scene of contentment from the Goswami, the irony is sharp. The irony is sharp to the extent that it cuts devotees. As this day invested, as we hear it described now, will end so far differently from the way it started. How does this day begin? Goswami Tulsidas, as he opens the curtains, he uses the pen, devotees, he moves the pen of Charitramanas and he paints, he writes, he imprints on our consciousness, Rama, Ananda. We take our first. Yajna So the Lord, together with Sita and Lakshman, they found this suitable spot and they're settling into their new routine now. They simply built hut in Panchavati. And life at that point for the Lord was much like the sages that resided in that area. They took a bath in the morning, they performed what we will say Tri Sandhya, for those of us who understand. And then visits the sages, they flocked to the ashram of Sri Ram. For what? Darshan of the Lord. The Swami Tulsidas himself said, Janma Janma Muni Jatan Karahya Dharam Kahi Avat Nahya. So these sages in Panchavati had the darshan come to them. What bhagya devotees, what fortune. So they all saw the darshan of the Lord. And on this particular day, as this day unfolds, Lakshman, the dutiful brother that he is, lay in a mool halakand. He left the ashram to go gather for his brother and his sister-in-law, who he considered as a mother, Ma Sita, to gather fruit, leaves and wood to bring back to the ashram. And so Sri Ram was left there with Ma Sita alone. And Sri Ram he looked at Shakti Ma Sita, Narayana in avatar, and he began, as he had her a moment alone, he began to make a request of Ma Sita. What was this request, devotees? We'll take our first.
Continue.
Poised to happen, I should say. With this moment alone, the Lord and Sri Ram makes this request. What is it? Sunahu Priya Vrata Ruchira Susita. Sri Ram says to Sita, my dearest, my Devi, my Shakti, the time has come for me to advance the plot of avatar. Or in other words, to begin my avatar. मैं कछु करवी ललित नर लीला. He says, I must now plan to a certain place into motion and act not anymore as Purusha or Bhagavan, but as Manusha or as man. Lalit nar lila, so that I can free my servants in bondage. Jayam Vijay. The Lord devotees, he then said to Sita, Tumho pavatumahu karahu nivasa. He says, O Devi, O Narayani, O Shakti of mine, I now ask you to please take leave take leave of your true identity and assume the form of Brahmachari, Day3. This is an interesting request of the Lord that allows you and me as a seeker to discern two important truths about Sri Ram Charitra. The first, Karami Lalit Nar Leela. Bhagwan is about to enact. He's about to act, so to speak, devotees, and not experience the actions that will follow today in Ramcharitra. These are not the first-handed experiences of Bhagwan as the Lord. These are the experiences of Bhagwan as Manushya, as Nar performing Leela. It becomes important for us to know this, and possibly in the future, when we attend or continue to attend our Ramcharitra Manas Pravachan and so on, all of the knowledgeable pundits of our communities, wherever we might be, will explain this in detail. We can't stop and express everything in detail. But it is important for you to understand tonight as we discern certain things, certain truths, that this is not Bhagwan from here on. This is Bhagwan declaring, as Goswami Tulsidas documents, he is now going to engage in Leela. Lalita, this playful, literal devotees, or this up and down, so to speak, this worldly type of Nara Leela, ways of man. The second is this, Tuma Pavak Mahu. Pavak here, devotees, is a reference to Pavak means pure. Pavak is a purifier. The purifier is fire. It's literal fire in the gross sense. But also devotees Tej or Agni. Agni in the cosmic sense. And it is important for us to stop and recognize this because we say very loosely, and this is not a criticism, it is some of the things that we regularly and routinely think about. If we stop and just analyze a little bit more, we get a little bit more rest, we get a little bit more substance, a little bit more to think about. We say Sita goes into the fire. What if somebody challenges us on that and say, so you only Lord that you might go up in the fire? How do we respond to that? Some of these things help devotees for us to understand. So he says, Tum ho pavak mahu karun di vasa. Masita devotees, she entered into the fire, as we hear so often. And it is true because Goswami Tulsidas changes the narrative. But the truth is, devotees, the reality of it is that she resolved, so to speak, or she withdrew into herself her pure divine state. Remember, Sita at this point is Narayani. She is Mahalakshmi. Okay? She withdrew her divine state, which is Shakti, and in its place, she replaced it with the consciousness of another form. That form, this is Brahmachari, or child, known as Devati. So this was a switch, so to speak, a bait and switch to use cliche. Why? Why does this have to happen? Why did this happen in the first place? This is as a general resource. Devati, this person who has now taken the place of Sita, this consciousness that was replaced, had to come there and do this for a reason. She was destined to do this. And this is an act of divine intervention. Let's just say for simplicity's sake, right? To uncomplicate it, Sita energy left. And so Devati's energy appeared in Sita. But this Devati was a granddaughter of one of the Devatas of Brihaspati. And what happened is essentially an attempt was made by Ravan, okay, to interact with her in a very inappropriate way to interact with a young child, a young brahmacharini, okay? And that is putting it mildly. We read between the lines. Ravan attempted to do this, and this devotee highly offended her, infuriated her, and with the power of her sacrifices, she was in the process of performing tapasya, right? She cursed him. She gave him a shrap. Nasrab was that not just him, his entire lineage will be destroyed, will find their death by Hercules and by her hands. Through the power of that penance devotees, the same Pavak that I spoke about, her body was resolved, it was taken in devotees' existence, right? It was withdrawn and held until this point when it reappeared in the body of my Sita. And time passed as she makes her appearance here now to ensure that this Dushta Ravan and his family will be destroyed. This Ravan devotees, this was just one instance of how Ravan set himself up, right, for failure in life. A life of ultimate power, a life of ultimate enjoyment, a life of ultimate riches and recognition to the extent devotees that he had the protection of the gods. Shankar Maharaj protected Ravan. So careful when we call him a Rakshas. All of these things do fall into the realm of a Rakshas. This unbridled power devotee is met with a fiery end. Because of the abuse of the powers that he has. There are many interesting things I like to share during this katha about the Ravan, but in the interest of time, maybe another time. But I will whet your appetite a little bit, and titillate your senses, and tell you that this is one of 11 Srab. 11 Srab devotees Ravan received in his life for the very same thing that happened. People caused him to die. This Devati devotee is this one. This would be the case of his demise in this avatar, Shree avatar and Treta. So, Sita Devi entered into the state of power. Devati now emerged in her place. When Devati appeared, she approached Sri Ram there in the forest and bowed to him as Anant Harinarayan, as Satyanarayana Swami. She prostrated before Bhagavan and she said, Prabhu, merciful indeed you are. Merciful you are. You champion my cause in this way. That devotee is again the subject of another katha. So this is the scene, coming back to the katha, this is the scene that we find ourselves witnessing in the eyes of the consciousness, like I said earlier tonight. Sri Ram, Lakshmana has left for a while. Sri Ram has made this request of Sita Amma, and this switch of soul has happened. At the same time that this has happened, a second or another stage is being set elsewhere, far away in the kingdom of Ravan. This second stage is being set in Lanka. And what does this one have to do with the other? Well, Goswami Tulsidas is bringing this sharp irony that I spoke about, is bringing it to meet, to clash, to climax in tonight's katha. Goswami now pulls the curtain on a second scene, a second sambad as we say, or second meeting. This one in Lanka. What did Goswami Tulsidas document? What does this katha narrate? We listen to Chopai again.
Oh
unfolding in Lanka. At the same time that this was happening, where the switch was taking place between Devati and Vaidehi, Ravana and Lanka came to know that Sri Ram had taken his abode in that forest that we just heard about. And this happened through a series of events which started with Surpanakha, Ravana's own sister. And so devotees, there was a little bit of a conflict and she was slashed, so to speak, by Lakshman. When she came back to her brother. And she said, brother, there are two princes there in that forest there. And look at what they did to me. They slashed me. Right? We invested people who can understand this terminology. He chopped me. Okay? And she went to complain to her brother. And she says, you know brother, to avenge this, you must take revenge. Take revenge, brother, for your sister. And Surpanakha knew, she knew his weakness. As powerful as he was, we should take note too. As powerful as we could be, right? Our weaknesses are very obvious too. And sometimes it's hiding in plain sight, and sometimes it comes out in the plain sight too. Surpanakha knew. She knew his weakness, and you know his weakness too. What did he try to do with Devati? That is a terrible weakness. It was the sign of a papi, of the highest order. So she said, knowing how to get him, she said, brother, go take revenge for me. You know what? There's something in it for you too. See that prince there who is very sharp? Right? Nice wife. Nice girl there. Ravana devotees, hearing that, he agreed to do Surpanakha's work. And how did Ravana seek to carry out this plan? Dasamukh Gayahu, he went to meet somebody, Jaha Maricha. Ravana went inside of his kingdom, to an old Rakshas living right there within the kingdom of Lanka. And this Rakshas was his uncle. And he went by the name of Marish. This Marish devotees, though he was a Rakshas, he was now old. He was very seasoned, in the career of being a Rakshas, so to speak. But more importantly, he was transformed. He was a transformed Rakshas. How does a Rakshas transform? Okay? Well, this Marish, okay, in his previous birth, he was actually part of this whole drama, Vijay, who ultimately becomes Ravan and Kumbhara. He was one of the servants there. And just like Jay and Vijay received Shrap, right, he becomes Rakshas, Maharakshas in 3 lives, because of his Asur nature, this Marish, he received a curse also from Narayan Bhagwan himself. And he begged for forgiveness. Narayan Bhagwan said, my wood has already been given, I'll make my sankalp and this curse is yours. But Bhagwan being all merciful, he said, I will free you of this curse myself. And so devotees, we find, coming closer to we find Marish today. He was born and he resided in the Dandak forest, which is close to where Ayodhya is. And some of us, I think allusion was made to it in a previous time. While he lived there, he was trained. He had a brother named Subahu. Marish and Subahu, these two brothers, they were trained by the sages there in warfare and battle. Vishwamitra himself. And what they did is, by virtue of learning this, Vishwamitra was a sage, they performed Yajna, Tapasya, they were in a practice of performing their worship in the forest. Having learned all of these skills from the sages, they turned around the devotees and started to harass the sages with these same skills. Trained in warfare devotees, they started to terrorize the sages as they performed their yajna. And so, some of us are in familiar territory now. Vishwamitra made the journey, a short journey to Ayodhya, and he asked Raja Dasaratha for the 2 boys, Ram, Shree and Lakshman. And so they came there and they interacted, they actually eliminated that threat from Vishwamitra, and there were 2 threats. One was Subahu, one was Marish. Subahu was not as lucky as Marish. Subahu got killed. But Marish said, Sri Ram took a headless arrow and hit him with the shoulder, I believe. And said, pitch him so far that he fly up in the air and he fall on right inside Lanka. Okay, and following on their devotees, he was picked up. He was picked up by Ravan. Ravan offered him shelter. He gave him a spot to live. So here we find Marish and Lanka. No why is there now. Marish now aware of the power of the Lord, Sri Ram, finding that spot and getting that shelter, getting a second chance, so to speak, at life, or at least a spirituality. He converted that spot that Ravan gave him into an ashram. This is Rakshas now. This is what we call Rakshas, right? Rakshas, but you have big Thai jatan thing, long bear thing. Okay? You wouldn't know it's a Rakshas. Why did he just go with my appearances? So, this marriage, he took the appearance of a Rakshas, of a yogi, because he was engaged. To be fair to him, he was engaged and he began that yogi, he began to practice his tapasya. Until we find today's katha, he's being called upon by the emperor of the times of Ravana. How did that go, devotees? Dasamukh Gayahu Jaha Maricha. He went to marriage. Right? How do you think something like that will go? Because enthusiast doesn't even guess it. He continues to describe. He approaches marriage and truly his nature as a treacherous person, as an untrustworthy person, as a self-serving person, right? He feigned humility. Okay? Khalkai Priyavani. He feigned humility and respectfulness as he approached his own uncle and acting out of character devotees. Goswami Tulsidas dedicates a little bit of time here, talking about these types of individuals, and it's a good place for us to maybe pause and take a few lessons in life. One of the great treasures that Ramcharitamanas holds for us is that it is not a linear scripture. It doesn't speak only about liberation. It doesn't speak only, right, about how to attain Bhagavan. Because Sri Rama's Maryadit, as we hear many times, he is the exemplar. It holds many lessons for us in our practical lives. I will not be doing justice to my position as a Vyas if I didn't bring some of them out. So we listen for a little bit. The Swami uses a word, it's almost like a Sanskrit word. That word is Kubhaya. Right? What is Kubhaya? It's a little bit here in Mahatma. Kubhaya is the ill-intentioned person. You must be careful. The ill-intentioned person is not somebody who necessarily intentionally, right, means bad. But our intentions can take us to bad places. Who are the people that fall under this class of Kubaya. Don't call nobody that, please. Right? Just listen. Hey, you call your Guru. Alright? Who falls under the classification of a Kubaya? An untrustworthy, a treacherous, and a sly person. Right? If you know somebody who like that, please don't say. Just think. You know somebody like that, and that person all of a sudden will be come to you, very nice and humble. Okay, and amiable in front of your face. Say, Kubaya, I don't know. Right? Who else? A parent. I hold it as I said, I don't want to go long before I leave here. But the truth is the truth. A parent that acts as a friend to his or her children. Never ends up well. Don't call your parents too high, please. That will be on my head. I know it all. There's a next interesting one. Maybe you come to that in time for this. Time real quick. Right? Abanda. I know it all. Right? Remember this one. Whenever a know it all comes and asks you for advice, what do? Scream Kubaya and run away. Okay? And someone who has never cared for you your whole life, right? All of a sudden become very concerned. You think he's concerned about you? Right? What do? Scream Kubaya and run away. On the other side, right? Scream Kubaya and run away. Because change doesn't come easy. Right? Don't get fooled by that. Don't get fooled by the clock too, so move on. This Banda Ravan, right? Dasamukha Dayalu Maricha. He approached to this marriage, and like I said, Swami Tulsidas wasn't very flattering, right, in his description of the actions of Ravan here. And I want to be very clear to you when we read, sometimes as we ask. We read the scriptures and sometimes there's an interpolation in the scriptures and the lines could be blurred between what the scriptures say, what our philosophy or darshanas say, and what the opinion of the Vyas is. If we are able to distinguish this, it helps us a lot sometimes. But this is not my point. My point is, I remain committed to bringing to you the messages of the scriptures. So I will take the opportunity to remind you that I'm not sitting here doing a commentary on Sri Ramcharita. I am bringing to you Sri Ramcharita in the way that I feel it should be expressed. And I stay true. I stay true to this one, because it has to. And I use a third word, I use Kubaya, and I use Banda, right, to describe Ravan. And I want to tell you that this is not my opinion. I am not characterizing Ravan in this way. Swami Tulsidas himself, as we started listening to what his Rakshas is about in a few minutes, right? Swami Tulsidas himself, right, described Ravan in that way. He said, Dasasiritahi, 20 bhujanga. Dasasiritahi 20 bhujanga. Ravan Ram Veer Bari Banda. So there you have it. This is not in the realm of opinion here. This is Ramcharitra. This Haldigote, this is Ravan. Right? He went in front of his uncle. And just like the Kubaya, right, he started to ask of his uncle's well-being. He feigned humility. Right? He was too big to conquer, so to speak. And he appeared to be requesting, marriage. He said, "Oh uncle, right? Oh uncle, I need your help with something. I am depending on you." It didn't go so fast as he called it father once. Oh, I don't know what in here. Okay? He said, "Father, I've come to you with a request." What is that request to be? Don't take my word for it. Go on, two seconds. दसमुख सकल कथा तेरे आगे दसमुख सकल कथा तेरे आगे कहीं सहित अभिमान जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम
Going to leave this on there.
Huh?
Going to leave this on there. The heater is going down. So.
Are you going down?
Huh?
What is it?
I'm going to put it over there.
Yes. Otherwise, give me.
Look at what happened here. He said, oh Father, I have this, really need your help, you know. I depend on you so greatly. Would you help me with this? He explained to him, Dasamukh Sakal Kathate Age. He began to explain what happened with Karen, Dushan and Surpanakha, how to get chocolate and so on, and what he planned to do. And he said, oh Father Wonka, you know this is what I plan to do, son. I ask you to help me out with this plan, help me with this plan. Ramayan is saying to Marish, he said, oh Father, Uncle, I know you cannot develop tremendous yogic powers during my kingdom and I'm observing you. So now, use that power that you have accumulated for me. Use that power for me. Sounds like you've gone from Ramayan to politics. He says, go to Panchavati, Ramayan says, go to that forest where the Lord is. And you'll see Raja Dasratha's son, he's there in Exile. Okay? He said the same Rama we knew from before. He said, Marish, he's framing this nicely here, Rama. He said, Marish, uncle, this is your chance. Imagine this devotee. All of this is about Marish, you know. Right? He accumulated this force, he will use it for hour. He can use it for hour. And Rama is telling Marish now, this is the chance. This is the chance to get back. To get back home after you getting out. Right? And then fill you all the way here. And he said, Tuma, what are you trying to do? He said, this is what you should do. This is what you should do, Marish. Disguise yourself as a bear. Make yourself magical. Make yourself beautiful and irresistible. Then distract Sita. See if you can lure Shree, the prince. Right? See if you can lure the prince, Shree down, out of the compound. And then Ramayan says, when you do that, I will go and I will steal away. I will steal away Sita. This old reformed Rakshas devotees, when you hear this, even Father Rakshas was shocked. He was in disbelief. And he began to shake. He began to quiver in fear. Goes on, Tulsidas, she takes that out of his. he began to object. He began to demonstrate, right, with Ravan. He said, essentially he was saying to Ravan, King, Emperor, Master, do you hear yourself? Are you for real? If this is what you try to do. And then devotees, Maharaj may possibly, now I will tell you, I'm going from the pages around to the Pramanas. I don't want to classify what I say as a low opinion. I'm not sharing my opinion yet, but I'm sharing teachings. I'll tell you some of the things that I think when I come to this place in Sri Ramchandra Maharaj. Maharaj may possibly, by opposing Ravan here, the biggest mistake you can make when you deal with a true, right, certified, authenticated Banda. And what is that? He began to caution him. He began to warn him. And just like Ravan came nice and meek, although devotees, Chalakari, he was pagan, right? He came meek like a son and started to call Maharaj's father there. Right? Maharaj said, call me father, okay. He said, son, this is a serious mistake. This is a colossal error and judgment that you're making here. Okay? This force that you're trying to put me against is no ordinary force. That's when Ramchandra Maharaj said, this is not a man. He is the cause of all beings. This is what you're planning? Maharaj gave some advice to the know-it-all. He gave some advice to the Banda. And he said, Bhagavan, King, it is by his will. What you're planning here, the object of your plan, it is by his will that we're alive. And it is at his discretion that we will be kept alive. And this is what you're planning to do. Maharaj will continue to try to persuade Ravan out of this life-threatening and foolhardy plan. And then Maharaj finally said the thing that should fall for Ravan. Right? And what was that? Maharaj said, Master, Emperor, King, instead of doing this, it is better you consider the welfare of your entire village. Because in doing this, all will be lost. You will lose no, not only yourself, but your entire cool. And Maharaj said to him, go back home. Go back home, King, go back in their kingdom without ever imagining, right, to execute such a dangerous, foolhardy, self-destructive plan. Spend some time describing the Banda to Kumara. What do you think will happen when you talk to somebody like that this way? How do you think he will be reacted? Ravan was enraged. Okay? And he launched an abusive devotee, a tirade now against Maharaj. And he went full circle now. True colors coming out. Maharaj, I'll just summarize, Maharaj went from being a father to being a murkha fool because he gave him some advice. And he asked me, he said, oh Maharaj, I didn't come to you for advice since when you became a guru. I didn't come for advice, I come for help. And he went on and he said, listen to this part. He said, I'm seeking your help because, after all, and we listen to our lessons in life. Like I said, lessons in life are there in Sri Ramchandra Maharaj. If you want to take them. He said, you, Guruji, say Guruji, right? You're giving me advice when I ask for help. I'm seeking your help because, after all, Maharaj, after all, it is me who housed you when you fall in the city. It is me, I gave you shelter. I am affording you these freedoms you have. I am giving you the food that you eat and the protections that you enjoy. And the planet devotees, he said, Maharaj, father to fool, this is how you repay me? This is how you repay me. Lifeless devotees is glaring, glaring. When you take help from someone, those of us who wish to take their lives, when you choose or decide or consider to take help from someone, think carefully when you take that help. There's no mistake. Think carefully when you take the help, because the time might be an opportunity for you, not the person seeking help from. Be careful who you take that help from. The person. There could be a banda or kumaya. Consider your condition when you take. Never take the good is when you're a beggar. Even if there is time you need the most. Sometimes it's better to hold your pride and man your belly. Because when you take in these conditions, you act a little bit desperately and you don't know what the interest rate is. The interest rate is on what you take. Be careful what you take. Never take something devotees from someone. Never borrow, never take a loan, whatever it is, of something that you know there is no possibility that you could ever pay back. It's a dangerous thing. Be careful too also how much you pay. Because I believe that's even more of this. The payment devotees, it might cost you in your image. It might cost you in your pride. It might cost you in your integrity. So when you choose to ask, when you choose to take like Mari's did from Ramayan, make sure you can answer these questions first. And Mari's realized at that point that he couldn't answer those very same questions. And he was faced with a serious problem. He was approached by Ramayan, and look now, he's reproached by Ramayan for seeking marriage, for seeking his own interest. Because he had already borrowed and now he was helpless. He was about to possibly make his worst enemy. As I continue to share some of the gems, I'd like to talk about this. Every time I'm a little warm up again, so you're fast and see that, right? Chinese Maharaj, he tells us now, he cautions us, I should say, about 9 people. 9 people you never want to make an enemy with in fact. Okay? Who are these 9 people? The first one is anybody who is better than you at something. Okay? Whether it be a sport or for a weapon or something. Right? Don't make an enemy with that person because they don't know what happened. Right? You will be challenged for a moment and then after that you will be back, you will get it up. Okay? So never make enemies of someone who's better than you at something. Take it easy and be humble. Never make enemies of somebody who knows your secrets. Okay? Why? Why I need to say it? They can sell you out. They can sell you out. Never make enemies with your leader. Okay? Because he has the power to build or to break you. And he has the choice to do either one anytime. Never make enemies with a fool. Okay? Or a dunce as they say. Because that dunce could one day embarrass you, shame you, without even knowing it sometimes. Never make enemy with a wealthy person. Because they can overpower you with their means. Right? They can't do that, they buy their means. So that's a dangerous thing too. I personally, I should know when I say this one. I can't know what I say to you right now. Never make enemy with a doctor. Okay? Because he has many ways he can kill you. And nobody will know. Okay? Let me move on quick from now. Never make enemies with someone who is likely to speak. Or hear this one correct. Never make enemies with someone who is likely to speak at your funeral. lie, right? Unless you really have it going, right? You can't respond. Okay? That person could misrepresent you. It's spirit beings. Like I said, unless you have some serious stuff going on, you can't do anything about it. Okay? That's the 7. Who is the 8th? Am I words? Okay? Am I words? Gentlemen, don't make enemy with your wives. Okay? Some of us will want, some of us will find out. They're dangerous. Okay? They could make us suffer. So be good and play good. Pretend. My last one, trying to come on, is never make enemy with your cook. Okay, I know all of you are lucky to have cook a thing, right? Myself included. But your cook could be, we got a lucky wife, your husband cooking. Right? Maybe we got a lucky husband and wife cooking. Right? Never make enemy with your cook, even if that cook is just false. Why? It's just like the doctor, it poison you. Right? And you might be a little too late to respond. Okay? Stay at what? For those whose doctors is their cooks too. Okay? And those who understand that rule. So on one hand, Marish was in a lose-lose situation, I should say. He was in a lose-lose situation where on one hand, he could be killed by Ravan. On the other hand, he would be. So Swaminarayan tells us as he takes, look at how he says, he gives us a beautiful chant. He takes us into the mind of Marish. He says, Nij param pritam teru chana sukhaya kari sukhmani ham Shree sahit anuj savet kripa dhite of this unfortunate Rakshas, this reformed Rakshas, Marish. He says, Nij parama prema dekhi lochan. So look at this situation Ravana is putting in. On one hand, I could disobey him. On the other hand, I could oppose the Lord. But what if? Now he's thinking. And he's saying, what if I choose to oppose the Lord? Then, nature, parama, pritam dekhi lochan. My eyes will be rewarded with the form of the Lord. I will behold my master as Swaminarayan, Narayan. I shall fix my eyes on the lotus-like feet of the Lord. And not only that, if I oppose Ravana, if I choose to go with Ravana and oppose the Lord, I will also get the darshan of Mahalakshmi Sita Narayan. I will get the darshan of Shesha. Nija parama priti dekhi lochan. Marish is saying to himself, a choice has to be made. Marish makes his choice. He says, Marish is about to make his choice. He's saying to myself, I could choose death, which is the hands of Ravana, or I could choose this little piece, moksha. Death is refusing to help Ravana and opposing the Lord. He will be released from the curse that is holding him in that body of the Asura. And so it will be. Marish decided to act. He agreed to help Ravana. I take it that how long try to complete it. So Swaminarayan takes us further on the journey. Marish has already let's do this. How is it going to happen? सीता रुचि देखा रुचि देखा मनोहर जय राम अति सुंदर छाया सुंदर छाया सुंदर छाया सुदेव रघु So you will teach something that power, you make yourself time. Sita Parama Ruchir Mrige Dekha. The final devotee's movement that takes this day that started so in such a regular state of solitude, happiness, contentment to the sharp irony devotees of Lalita Leela. The final move. Ram and Sita, right? They were there once again, Lakshmana and them, they were enjoying the jewels of nature. It was Swaminarayan. And not far away now, not far away from the ashram, because remember they were in a forested area. Sita Parama Ruchir Mriga Dekha. Sita, she saw something. Okay? She saw something. This Devati posing as Sita, she saw appearing in the distance. Ruchir Mriga. She saw a wonderful, a heavenly deer. Beautifully devotees adorned and decked like no one has seen before. Ati Sundar Chala. Goswami says it had a golden hide, golden skin, and the spots of the skin were like beads and gems and diamonds rubies embedded into that golden drapery of the skin. He said its hooves, the hooves of that deer were as black as midnight. Yet it glistened on the plush carpet, the green carpet of that floor of Mexico. And I'm going to say the antlers, the horns of that deer, it was like a golden perch upon which one can rest all of the joys in life. This was the deer that gave birth to Swaminarayan. This exquisitely charming, heavenly creature in the peace. Coming into Devati's vision in this way, realizing that they now had sight of each other. Look at what the deer did. This deer began to gingerly, very cautiously emerge from the trees outside of the ashram. Cautiously began approaching the ashram. But not looking, head down as if it's grazing and going. This deer devotee then entered into the courtyard of the Lord's ashram. Looking at that deer devotee, Sita became lost for it. She was that devotees. As we see that deer came and got Sita's attention and chanting this way, the deer stopped, raised his head and he looked right at Sita. And in doing so, they made eye contact. The desire now in Sita, Devati Sita, to touch that deer, or to be near it, it became strong. And as that desire was etched in herself, in her being, the deer no devotees, it darted back into the woods, it ran away. Sita was startled by this sudden disappearance of the deer. She Sura quickly, as if losing something precious, and she ran devotees to her master. She ran to her Pati Sri Ram. She said, "Oh, I've just seen the most beautiful thing ever. I've seen the most beautiful creature I've ever seen in Panchavati. It's a day and my desire, Lord, my desire, O love of mine, is to keep it, is to have it." And it went into the trees. Won't you fetch it for me? Won't you go bring that there for me so I can keep it as company? Surudeva Raghuveer Kripala Ehi Mrigatar Ati Sundara Chara. No one can say why devotees in this katha. At this point, if you read Sri Ramchandra Pramanas, no one can say why. But even though Swamiji didn't dare to explain why, Sri Ram inherited the words of Sita. The Lord devotees. Smiling, he grabbed his bow and he sprung and he ran after that deer. O Lord devotees, he promised Sita that deer and he would bring it back into the ashram. But by leaving, he had a word for Lakshmana. As he picked up his sword and began to go chase that deer and bring it back as he was requested, he said, "Lakshmana, brother, this is a Dandak forest and it's very dangerous and it's riddled with dangers in every corner. Stay here and do not leave. Stay with Sita and do not leave her alone." And so we go to come to the climax of Gatha in Sri Ram, chasing this deer. A chase began. Goswami Tulsidas tells us beautifully again in Chopai. Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Nigamaneti Shivadhyana Bhava, Maya Pragi Pache Sotava, Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai. So the chase was on. Kahu Nikat Muni, Kahu Nikat Muni Nur Parari, Kahu Nikat Muni Nur Parari, Kahu Pragati Kahu Chapai, Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai. The divine Leela of the Lord devotees playing out in Panchavati. The mystery of the Lord, the Lalit Leela of the Lord preceding these aspects. Marish springing into the forest, realizing that the Lord has begun to follow him now, anticipating that the Lord is behind him. Marish disguised as a deer would travel a little way into the forest. And he would stop. And that beautiful form that he had of that deer, he would look back. He would gaze back until he got a glimpse of the Lord chasing him. And then he would bound off again, a little distance into the woods, luring devotees the Lord Sri Ram deeper and deeper into the forest, surrounding him. Goswami Tulsidas himself touched by this hail, this Leela of the Lord, this Lalit another Leela. He said, "The Lord, O Bhagwan," reflecting to himself, pulling the devotees on his own thoughts now. He says, "Bhagwan, you are described as Nigamaneti by Shankar Maharaj himself. Nigamaneti Shiva Dhana Pava." Even Shankar Maharaj is mesmerized by your Leela, Prabhu, unfathomable, unattainable by the devotees. And it's such an irony, devotees. Goswami says that why are you in pursuit of a deer? You're in pursuit of this deer. He says, "Bhagwan, you are now this Sita, this sought after. You are the Sita, and the deer is being sought after. The world seeks you. Bhagwan, you're seeking this deer. How confounding is the mystery, Prabhu. Now deep into the forest, as Goswami thinks, Sri Ram is being lured further and further into those woods. eyes just again. There. He stopped for the last time. He stopped and he stood still. These devotees at that point came face to face with the Lord. And for an instant, just like his eyes met with that of Day3 Sita, now the eyes of Maharaj met with the Lord. Their cosmic history, their cosmic past devotees began to play between their eyes. And Maharaj, he bowed his head to Sri Swaminarayan Bhagavan. Coming face to face with the Lord in this way, Maharaj, in the form of the deer, he closed his eyes and he bowed his head and he kept it there. Closing his eyes, devotees, Maharaj waited. And with his eyes closed, Maharaj felt the piercing of an arrow. He felt the piercing of an arrow, devotees, through his eye. And instantly, by being struck by the arrow of the Lord in this way, he was transformed. Transformed back in this terrible, righteous form, devotees. And as his last few breaths, Maharaj left his body, the final Leela, the final tale, the final mystery unfolded. Being shot by Sri Ram in this way and coming into his righteous form once more, in the last moments, the last breaths of his body, look at what Maharaj did. He looked at the Lord again in his face. Without taking his eyes off the Lord, Maharaj, the righteous now, he cried at the top of his lungs, he began to cry. Imitating the voice of Sri Ram. Mimicking the voice of the Lord, he said, "Ah, Lakshman." He said, "Ah, Sita." As if it is Sri Ram who was struck with the arrow, he was in danger. And then he is calling out to Lakshman and Sita in the voice of Sri Ram. This Maharaj fell down lifeless, he fell down dead. His consciousness devotees. Goswami West describes for us, assumed a beautiful form and he ascended into the heavens. When that happened, devotees, the paramount came out. Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai. Lakshman Kari Pratham Jai Rama, Pacho Subir Man. Pache Subaras Man Mahurama, Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai. Pranta Jat Pranta Siddhi Deha, Subar Sri Ram Samet Sadeha, Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram. After the devotees, Maharaj called out this Lakshman, Lakshman, Sita, in the voice of the Lord himself, impersonating the Lord. Sri Ram, realizing what has just happened, he immediately turned around. Immediately the devotees, the Lord turned around, bolted back towards the ashram that he has just left, knowing that, running back devotees, as fast as he could, reaching the ashram, our Lord Sri Ram, he beheld the scene. It's interesting that Goswami Tulsidas could not bear to write a chaupai to describe this. We have to get it from other Ramayan. But running back into that ashram as quickly as he could, this is what the Lord witnessed. Now we pull the curtains on eyes of the Lord. And why Sri Ram in Lalit Naralila? Running back into that compound, Sri Ram saw nothing and no one. It was empty. Sri Ram called out to Sita, no answer. Called out to Lakshman, no answer came from either of them. The ashram devotees were silent. Nothing. No one else could be heard. In the unbearable silence of that empty ashram, devotees. Now, the air was filled with only regret. Sita was now gone. What transpires onward from here is the subject of other than Ramayan. So devotees, this is where I will stop today. In the mode of Ramayan, especially we have been the it is 9:10 and I made a choice to take the Katha song as far as I can in an effort to conclude it. And so we have in our learning time this episode in which, like I said, we consider how the day started and how it ended. Once again, ending in tragedy. So many points to ponder, so many things that will keep us on the journey of Sri Ramayan. All I can offer to you at this point is that we continue to listen, we continue to seek opportunities, we continue to come out to Yajna here and elsewhere also. We commit ourselves to Pravachan, to our acharyas, to our gurus, and we perform class and we continue to seek on the journey. This is my humble offering to you tonight, everyone here. What is this? Sita Ramayan. Very quickly, devotees, before I hand the mic over for the conclusion, I want to, on my own behalf, say a word of blessing to all of you for coming out yet again tonight. I know the challenge was a bit stiff today, but you have answered. And many blessings to you. There are 5 nights to go, devotees, from tomorrow. I'm happy to let you know that tomorrow my Bhaiya, Guruji, and my family from the Raj Tiwari is going to be reading. Encourage you to come out and support it. I will be here, we will all be here. Let us join onwards in Sri Ramayan. A word to members of Day3 for your support tonight and a nice one by you. As always, you embody service, you embody seva, not as a theory but as a precept, as an act of divine integration. So blessings to all of you. Tonight's very important support system. Okay? Our Yajna and the Florence moms to you. Many blessings. As soon as we set this up, you put your hand up as always, right? And you set the example once again. I hope this has been a fruitful experience for you. I express the hope that the Master Swaminarayan continues to show his blessings upon you and keep you looking so young. Okay? Many blessings to you. To my father-in-law, John, right, who made prasad for you tonight. You're in for a treat also. Thank you very much, Dad, right, for once again stepping up and serving the needs of the community. We appreciate it, and certainly the entire association appreciates it. Many thanks from everyone. To my sons, Jagdish for us today, and say blessings to you. Tonight was a big stage for them. And I know, probably a little bit unnerving, I know you always leave them alone when it comes to Panditaya. I'm not sure to them pretty well. But today, they will have by themselves. I want to say blessings to you. But also, in the same vein, I would like to, on behalf of Priya and myself, express tremendous gratitude to, first of all, Pandit Shuklaji, President here in Mandir. Last night he said to them, boys, I'm here to help you over the way you let me know. Then, of course, Pandit Raj is always here. My dear brother, my older brother, Pandit Ganesh, Sukulji, Pandit Shukla, contacted me today and said, well, I know you have your hands or your head tied today. Right? So I will come 5 o'clock and I will give you the voice so let me know if you need anything. Pandits, Priya and I, we are very grateful. And we feel really request no closer. We're very grateful and we feel fortunate to have a net like this, a dharmic net like this in which our children can fall into time and time again. It is all blessings. So my sincere thank you to all of you. As I go on quickly about these, some special musicians offered, to be with us tonight. With my son Tulsidas and my son's Tulsidas and today. And I want to say a special thank you to my younger brother, right, Ruth today. Okay, thank you, Ruth. Right, as always, you always very willing to join with us. And we appreciate that, we appreciate you. Many thanks, many thanks. Also to Roshan Haya, who some of you stayed back late last night when it was still cold. And he did what was necessary to set us up today. And I do want to mention to you that Haya Roshan did that late into the night. We were all here, but he was here also without a hint of reluctance. And that in itself speaks volumes. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And ask again, second time, more words. Okay. To our respected panelists tonight, thank you for your support, your encouragement, and your blessings. And a final word before I close or before I hand it over. And it's something I wish to do tonight. Tomorrow, my brother in Ramayan, that is also bad, he celebrates his birthday. Okay? So, Roshan, what's 26, 27? We don't know, right? Somewhere around there, okay. To a man who is ever willing, ever dedicated to his community and to his dharma, we all want to wish you, Roshan, a very happy birthday. Our community is lucky, right, to have someone like you, right, to be able to serve the needs of dharma in this way. And we may not always say it, but we always feel it. And we have an additional lesson tonight in that all of us, collectively, without exception, we all wish you the best. Felicitations, blessings, and many, many more good things. Devotees, this is my contribution for tonight. Thank you. Sitaram, Chandraki.
Praise the Lord, Swaminarayan ki jai. Over now to our Mandir.
Boya Vyas Maharaj ki jai. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's cold. I'm not going to be long tonight, but I want to just say that our Vyasji took his time and he went through the entire Aranyakanda and very beautifully bringing it and delivering it to us in a very simple way. But most importantly, Marich had a choice. Marich could have been killed by Rama if he refused, but he decided to be killed by the Lord Shree Ram. So he was, ultimately he came and he was doing, as Vyasji said, if you listen carefully, the work of Shree Ram. So if he was killed by Ravana, it would have been a Maran. If he's killed, but he decided to kill by Lord Rama, so he's Taran. So Taran means that he's got moksha. Maran means this ordinary death he will be coming again. So Marish made the right choice. You all made the right choice by coming here tonight in spite of the cold, no? So thank you all very much. God bless all of you. But I'm very happy tonight, Vyasji, that you're molding your 3 sons to become pandits. And it is nice to see our young Brahmin boys learning the art of being a pandit. And really, really nice. That's why the 3 of you, stand please. Stand up, the 3 of you. So this is, the eldest is Tulsidasji, the second one is Vasudev, and next to me is Jagdishwar. And so these are 3 young pandits that they're getting training and they're coming up. And so we know that when us, the older ones, will be moving on in life, here, this is the future of our Dharma here in Florida. Another round of applause for them. Thank you. Thank you. And that's basically all I have to say. God bless all of you. See you all here tomorrow night, where we will join with our own Mandir Timori in the journey into Kishkindakan. Shree Ramchandra Bhagwan ki jai.
Good. Very, very good. Om Sajan Chavarti Sanyutam Vahinde Ulitam Maya Deepam Grihan Devesha Prayogya Tirnam Arati Seva
गमय तं श्रोमा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयात् सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् त्वमेव माताश्च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, शतनाम प्रभु सब संतन की जय जय जय। प्रेम से व्यास भगवान की जय, प्रेम से श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, सनातन धर्म की जय। Permit me for 2 minutes of your time, please. Please take your seats, everybody. On behalf of the Federation of Hindu Mandirs and the USA for this inspiration, permit me to extend a very heartfelt thanks to all of you, our Vyasji and his family and members of Dharma Inc. for all your kind contributions this evening. To all our Panditjis that are here, our Vyasji, Panditji Rabi Maharaj, or Dharmacharya, Panditji Raj Balkar Tiwari, Panditji Vishnu Harwar Pandey, Panditji Ganeshi Sukul, Panditji Manush Prasad, Panditji Gurdat Jagannanath, Panditji Tulsidas Maharaj, Panditji Vasudev Maharaj, Panditji Ganeshwar Ram Sahai, Panditji Jagdish Maharaj, and of course Panditji Shukla. To all who contributed this evening financially, we thank you very much for your kind donation and contributions. To all the members of the Federation of Himandirs that are here, Auntie Vedu and President Ji, with special trip, thank you very much. Please, bhojan has been prepared because of the weather. It's been inside the dining area, so you can pick up your bhojan and exit, or you can sit and have your bhojan. Please do so. Tomorrow evening, Panditji Raj Balkaran will be our Vyasji. Thursday evening will be yours truly. Friday evening, Pandit Krishna Vijay from Fort Lauderdale. Saturday evening, Pandit Satyanand Sharma. And Sunday morning, Panditji Ganesh Sukul. We have a presentation for our Vyasji. Please bear with us one moment.
Just very quickly, the Federation of Hindu Mandirs, in collaboration with USA for this inspiration, with our greatest appreciation, we hereby honor Panditji Ravi Maharaj for your unwavering support and service to Ramayan in the park and the Hindu community. With sincere thanks and gratitude.
Mangalaya Taro Hari Om Tat Sat Hari Om. Prem to Vyas Bhagwan Ki Jai. Again, thank you all very much. Please invite your friends and family for the remainder of the Yajna here at the Jalaram Mandir. And a fun fact for all of you. Today, Tuesday, was the coldest November day in Central Florida since 1970. It took Ramayan the park for that to happen. With the high of 57 degrees and the low of 36 degrees. Isn't that remarkable? Now you know how we feel like when we were in New York. So God bless you all. Please join us tomorrow evening. Jai Shri. And we want to wish Mataji Tara a very happy birthday. Please give her a big round of applause. And she is very helpful here with us. Mataji, Janadin Shukkanai and Bhagwanji's blessings. And she is the sister of Panditji Raj Balkar. Thank you very much. Some hot bhojan to be about first.
For help. That was nice. So much, and that's what probably.
Please keep watching, keep subscribing.